and welcome to Star Wars Saturdays. Star Wars Saturdays is an ongoing campaign, a living campaign of Star Wars RPGs. It's more of an anthology, however. I've been running this since December of 2017, and the idea behind it is every month I choose a different RPG system, and we tell a story within that month on Saturdays, hence the name. We've run a large number of RPGs, and this is the first time this month where I've been running a hack of Monster of the Week, one of my favorite Powered by the Apocalypse games. It is distributed by Evil Hat, written by Michael Sands, and Monster of the Week is originally conceptualized as like Supernatural meets X-Files meets Buffy and a bit of Hellboy in there, and it's the idea that every session you sit down, you go out and hunt a scary monster in a modern day setting, and you have to figure out, investigate what it is, kill it, and then do so. We have hacked that for Star Wars, calling it Bounty of the Week. The idea is that instead of being monster hunters, they are bounty hunters. And this is the fourth and final session of Bounty of the Week for our September 2019 series. So I actually did a good job of last week. We actually did a hunt within one session. I was very proud of us. We did great. Good job, guys. And this time we are going to have a brand new hunt, which is great because we also have one brand new player. Let's start off with reminding us of who these characters are. I am going to start with Rob, then John, then Blas. If you could introduce yourself, where people might be able to find you if you want to share that, and then share with us your character. Go ahead, Rob. You can go first.
Hi, I'm Rob. I'm not really active online much, but I do occasionally stream video games on Mixer as Treb Ruddahan, which should probably link somewhere at some point. Anyway, I am playing Johanna Muldor, the ex-Imperial Security Bureau agent who was let go from the ISB because she failed to capture a group of rebels, which she had some relatives perhaps who were involved in that. So it seems like maybe she let them go intentionally. So she's turned to bounty hunting now that she is no longer employed by the Empire.
Legit. Awesome. Thank you very much, Rob. Next, we will go to John. How are you doing, John? Introduce your character to us.
I'm doing good. I am playing Squaz Batiki, who is a Jawa who doesn't normally sound this gruff, but yeah. So, anyways, he is a Jawa that was taken off planet as a pet for a hut, and then found a way to get away from the hut, and has been kind of living on traveling the worlds ever since then, because Jawas like to scrap things, and there are lots of things to scrap out in the universe, so he's got to find them all. And so he has stolen a few minor things, but mostly helped out, and is good with is decent at slicing and decent at stealing cars, because
exactly. Awesome. And thank you very much, John. Last but not least of our returning hunters is Blazebear's character. Hello, Blaze. Good morning.
Good morning. My name is Blazebear. You can just call me Blaze. It's all good. I'm playing. Oh yeah, You can find me on Twitter. My first name, last name is on Twitter. I'm somewhat active there still. I'm playing Grinnick Nash, the professional. And so basically, he's a bit of a, like, before he became a professional, there's not much history. He's like an ex-fringer, ex-mercenary, ex like pirate, ex-bodyguard, ex all the things, just finding work wherever he can. And he kind of found his true calling when he joined House Benelux. They specialize in kidnapping retrieval. And so just like the idea that like the challenge is to get the person out of there alive and not actually going to kill someone, just like did something to his brain where it just like he just turns on when that comes to be. So that's like his he's probably an adrenaline junkie for that. And and now he's training somebody, which is wonderful and scary at the same time.
Yes, I agree with both assessments. And we welcome a new hunter. Very excited to have Will participating in our Star Wars Saturday fun. Will, welcome. Very happy. Please introduce yourself and then introduce us to your character.
Thanks, Rich. I've loved the idea of Star Wars Sundays, and I hope this is not my last one or your last one. But so my character is Kel Trazik, the trainee, who I like to think that Kel is basically your Luke Skywalker without the Force and the Grand Destiny. He basically has signed up because, with the Jedi gone and the Empire doesn't care about anybody out here, any of the dark places, then someone's got to stand up and protect the people of the galaxy. And, by God, if the bounty hunters are all that stands there, then he's going to stand with them. And so, he's been joined up with House Benelux to learn from the best and, save some innocent people from the vile criminal scum of the galaxy.
Oh my God, he's so sweet and innocent. It's great. Oh, that makes my heart like grow 3 sizes bigger. That's great, Will. So fantastic. All right, so one of the things we're going to do is develop a little bit of history between Kel and at least a couple other hunters. Maybe we don't need to do all of them. If you check, there's a little pop-up where I've just copied the hunters. You're playing the trainee, which is just a renamed mundane playbook. I looked at all the mundane moves and I'm like, holy crap, this is very much like somebody's brand new on the job. So it's a trainee. We've got a few in there, and then if we want to develop a few others, but at least like some connections. And then of course, Squaz, Johanna, and Grinnick, if you can possibly come up with some ideas of your contact back, you guys can add that in. So we'll let you go first. Do you have any particular histories you thought might apply to the 3 hunters that we've been introduced to?
So I can see 2 right off the bat, and one of them seems the obvious choice, which is they're your hero, exactly the kind of bounty hunter you aspire to be. Tell them why you worship them, and that would obviously have to be with Grinnick Nash. That job that you pulled on Sullust 4, like where you saved all that those people from the cartel. My God, like I just need to learn how you did it single-handedly.
Yeah, they just recently returned this crew from a hard-fought mission on Canto Bight. That's the casino world from The Last Jedi, where they defeated an entire nest. And according to who you ask, there's probably even more of them added of Nexu.
Okay, so his legend grows,
It does. It never ends. Awesome. Do you have any others? You said you had a couple that might apply.
Yeah, so the other one is you're a bit suspicious of them. And I think I'm a bit suspicious of Johanna, the ex-ISB member, because you're ex-ISB, and the Empire, if the Empire really cared about people and, doing what's right, then we wouldn't need the bounty hunters, right?
The only ex-ISB that most people have heard of are dead. So, obviously Johanna's up to something dirty if she's running around the galaxy. Obviously, plant. I think you're dead on there.
Cool. And I could not think of any of the mundanes ones because they're all kind of, the rest of them are very like your relationships or rivals or whatever, right? So I couldn't think of anything there that would really tie me to our crooked.
Sounds good. That is fair. Let's Johanna, do you have any history that you want to throw back at Kel Trazik?
I was looking, but nothing really jumps out at me.
Cool. Do you think maybe you have some files on the Trazik family, perhaps?
Maybe. Is that one that I should have?
Nope, it's just one I made up. Because you're right, there aren't a whole lot in the expert hunter playbook that would work. But hey, if you want to think of some potential files, old ISB files that you might have on the Trazik family, that could be a fun thing.
Ooh, maybe a few generations back, one of the Traziks was a Jedi.
Oh, nice. There we go. Dropping the J word here. I love it. This fourth, everything's on the table. Cool. Squaws, do you have any you're thinking about for histories back to Kel?
Yeah, I was thinking if Kel seems like the sort that he might actually find out what he's getting himself into. So I was thinking he knows about my criminal past. He read my files, and he knows that I was involved with a bombing of some kind on, I don't know, Coruscant. Feed? Is Feed a place?
Yeah. Feed is if you want to do someplace on Coruscant, yeah, that works just fine.
Okay. I know that you're somehow linked to a bombing on Coruscant, on the lower level, on one of the mid levels, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, nice. I like it. Cool. And then, Grinnick, did you have anything you wanted to toss that way?
Yeah, I have one of two that I could throw, and depending on your background, I think both could work really well. I was thinking either we worked unofficially on a mission together. So I was thinking, I don't like your background. Sorry, I just completely forgot your background. I was thinking of other things while you were speaking. Do you have what were you before you became a trainee?
Well, I was going to leave that as broadly open as possible.
Okay.
I was maybe thinking local, law enforcement, or what I mean, something tangentially that would relate me to the bounty hunters and make me a recruit. Yeah.
Perfect. So we worked unofficially in a world where you were hunting someone that turned out to be the same person that I was trying to get a victim from. So you became either the beat cop on the file or something like that. And then I was the external contractor that was brought in to secure the victim type of thing. And so together, you found your guy and I got my guy out at the same time, or my person out. I can't assume these things. And that's how we kind of built this bond of we work together, we work well together. And so I actually just gave you my card or my contact information afterwards and said, if you ever think about joining, you should join in House Benelux.
Yeah, that's a good call. We had a little buddy cop.
Yeah, there we go.
Beforehand. Yeah, I like that.
Cool. I love that. That is really, really cool. That's nice and tight. Awesome. So there we've worked out some history. Good work, fellows. And so let me talk a little bit about safety tools before we jump straight into the game. First of all, as part of the gauntlet, we have our normal safety tool of the X card. The X card allows us to explore subject material, and then if any one of us, even I, hit a point where we start to feel uncomfortable or wish to withdraw, or it's just something we don't want to have on screen, all you have to do, make an X, or within our little roll for your party, I point here because I have a second monitor where I stick everything. I'm not pointing to a person, just off screen. I don't know why it doesn't help you, but that's what I do. There's an X card thing that you can click on, that the drop down menu for safety tools, or you can just mention, hey Rich, I need to X card that. I'm not going to challenge you on it. I will ask, what's the subject material that we're X carding, so that I can make sure and avoid it. Then we will excise it from our play. I guarantee you it will not be a roadblock. In my personal experience, things that have been X carded have led to more interesting stories. And by knowing that we have the X card, it allows us to kind of push. And I'm going to go with the best of intentions. I'm trying to emulate a PG-13 style Star Wars experience. There will be action. There may be severed arms. There might be laser swords, but I don't know for sure. And I will tell you, just so you're aware, there could be just a little bit of body horror, but I'm gonna like pull the camera way back on that one, and then still feel free to X card, even though I've warned you if it gets to what where you're like, Rich, no, you're squeaking me out. X card, no problems. So yeah, I think my main model of like when I think of Bounty of the Week, I just try to think of like Clone Wars animated series. They occasionally will have scary bits, so that to me is where I kind of sit. But I don't have your lived experience, so anything that you were like, nope, need to X card it, no problem. I had someone X card me on teeth, and it's no big deal. It's totally cool with me, and so it's just led to me knowing, hey, this thing works. Cool. So that's our safety tools. We are going to start off with you guys in hyperspeed. You are currently on your ship, and the ship is on the NPCs in places as the Viridian Hornet. It is a big ship. You guys have a very large tramp freighter. The tramp freighter has more than enough room for your crap speeder bike there, trainee. And I am curious. I just love to do like a little bit of like a couple moments. And we've got here, if you want to look a little closer, we've got the kind of load out or the floor plans just to have an idea, which means there's more than enough room. A lot of these, the singles have been converted to holding quarters in case you have people like, I don't know, an Achurian or an Echani merc or so that you want to house. But you guys are taking care of them. I'm just saying, for example. So you've got some of these that are actually secured, but others more than enough room for our trainee to have his own quarters and a nice bed and a refresher and all that good stuff. You guys are living the high life. I tell you, bounty hunting pays the bills until it doesn't. So I would like to first check in with Grinnick. So Grinnick, when we come in with the Viridian, you're not the pilot, so I'm curious where we would find you. Are you in the mess hall? Are you in your quarters? Are you training, looking over some hollows? What do you think we find Grinnick doing?
Usually he's always hunched over a desk looking at hollows and trying to keep track of everything. There's there's no one way to get all information. There's only I assume that Star Wars is a very fragmented communication system over communication system.
Mm-hmm.
And so to browse what's going on in the world is quite laborious. And so I make it a habit of trying to understand as much as I can about news and covering events. Yeah.
Yep. Out here you're currently in the mid rim, which means that you're not in the outer rim where it's super patchy, but the mid rim also has a bunch of overlays. Everything's kind of dropped onto the Holonet transponders, are dropped along the Hydian Way as well as the Prelimian trade route and the like, and it can be a little spotty. And it's got what is 5,700 channels and nothing on type deal, so hard to know what's the truth and what's false information. That totally makes sense to me. I think what we see on a data pad lying beside you is the NDA that House Benelix forwarded on to you guys for your current contract on Naboo, along with your request to meet with a chancellor for the Queen. The Queen right now of Naboo is a human female named Kylantha. She was installed by the Empire after the Empire executed the previous Queen Apollania. And she has been in control for quite a while, for basically 18 years. And she's only supposed to serve 2 short terms of 4 years apiece. And she just continued on at this point. So she's in quite a bit of control, but you're supposed to be meeting with Chancellor Roro Bibble, who is the person who sent along your NDA, your non-disclosure agreement. So yeah, that's what we see. We're going to jump over here to Johanna. So Johanna, I'm curious, where would we find you? What are you doing to pass the time before you guys arrive on Naboo?
Johanna is at her workbench and has got a sort of hilt handle open, tinkering with it. This is the dark saber that she has thanks to Squaz. So she's just trying to. She's just trying to sort it. To try and get. It's like one of those long-term projects. She's trying to get it functional.
Nice. Well, it's the fourth session, so why don't we see if you can get it fixed right now? Let's get a die roll out there.
Okay, so probably a use tech roll.
I think so. Yeah, I think use tech feels right. So use tech is where we took the use magic and hacked it to try to be Star Warsy. And it's funny, Will, that you mentioned the idea of Kel coming from the Jedi. An early version of Bounty of the Week, I just took use magic and called it use the Force. But after looking at it, I'm like, do I really want like 4 or 5 bounty hunters running around doing the Force? I'm like, nah, this is not Old Republic. So it's now use technology. All right, so use technology, you just make a tech roll. Roll 2d6 plus your tech, which is what the weird stat was in the original Monster of the Week.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a flat roll. Ooh, that's a 10.
Nice. No glitches whatsoever. Technology works without issues. So I think I think we have successfully kind of empowered a weapon. We won't give it +1 harm. We'll just say it actually works. Does that work for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Cool. So if you want to look over here, we've got a carking. Where is it? There it is. No, it's not. Well, we will stick it in here as a carking. Oh, that's right. It's in here. I'll just grab it from Quake. Sorry, I actually statted out a carking lightsaber. So we'll replace your large knife. You don't mind if I replace your large knife with a carking lightsaber? We'll call it a carking dark saber, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right. All right. And that is 4 harm, loud, coveted. That is one.
Fair.
All right. Awesome. So you can go ahead and mark that. That is now a thing that you've gotten, a carking darksaber. Now, we jump over to Squaz. I have a question for you, Squaz. First of all, I just want to share with you, friends, a picture that I think is pretty appropriate. There we go. Aww. Don't worry about the human girl. Who cares? Look at that little baby Nexu. All right. So how is the Nexu that you stole and hid away in your pack? How's it working out in where have you kept it?
I was more taking it for Grinnick, but
okay. Have you handed it to?
Yeah, I've handed it off to Grinnick.
So, Grinnick, when you were bent over your data pad and hollows, what was the Nexu doing in your room?
He was probably eating my armor, like a shoulder pad or something.
Oh, just like gnawing on it.
Gnawing on it, yeah.
Nice,
yeah.
Nice. I love that. So you've got all kinds of new Nexu teeth marks on your shoulder pad. Awesome. So then, Scott, since you've handed that over, that's the question I most wanted to answer. Now, the second question is, what are you up to? What do we see when we get introduced to you?
We're getting ready for a new mission, so I think he's just kind of working on the shuttle. Just to, double checking over everything and like whistling a Max Rebo tune.
Nice. I love it. Cool. I think, Kel, where are you at? Do you think maybe you're helping old Squaz out with repairs? Do you have something else that we see you doing on the Viridian Hornet?
I think he's very eager to, get to work and help out with even the mundane tasks. So he's there getting his arms stuck into the guts of the Viridian Hornet. Sorry.
Squaws, how good is Kel at the repair? Does he? What is it that he does that you're giving him correction on? He's a trainee, so he's got to have something that you find training worthy.
Just everything. He's human. They have such large hands. They can't do anything with it. With this, just stop touching. Like, here, hand me that wrench. That's what you can do. Hand me the Hydra spanner. That's it.
Jeez, all right, here you go. For a little guy, you sure are loud.
No love lost there. That is fantastic. So, you guys get, let's see, we'll say squaws, of course, you'd have a setup with the autopilot. So 897, the autopilot setup chimes that you're about to enter Naboo space within the next 20 minutes. So you're going to need to finish up your repairs. So we'll do a quick kind of Lucas style screen wipe, and you guys are, I'm curious, do you want to have the Viridian Hornet stay in orbit, or are you actually landing the Hornet because you were getting the shuttle ready? So were you planning on taking the shuttle down to Naboo? Cheaper on docking fees.
Shuttle.
All right,
Shuttle
cool.
it is.
So, Grinnick, what do we see as you have to leave the Nexu behind?
It's kind of hard because I know that half the crew isn't aware that we have one, and it's probably a crime to have one. So I have this shipping container, this small shipping container that I took from somewhere, and I just place them in the what seems to be armored shipping container with like a chew toy, and which is like an old piece of armor, and some scraps of food that I brought from the meth hall.
Yeah, nice. We see the little, I'm just imagining it's like this big, maybe. Does it feel about right to you?
Yeah.
He crawls in there and he growls a little bit, and then he pounces on the food, but he keeps looking over with his, the next one have the 4 eyes, so he keeps looking over at the piece of armor, and then you crate trained him, you close the little shipping container, and he looks up, and he has to leave. Those big eyes. Cool.
I feel very sad that he's not out, that he's in captivity, because I know they're not captive animals, and neither would I be anyways.
It's true, but if he were let out, what would they do? They just hunt him down. I mean,
that's true.
It's true. So we have the shuttle land in a docking bay. So I'm going to quickly jump over here to Naboo, mostly because I just freaking love this little map. And I stole it from the interwebs, so other people can easily Google and find this amazing picture of Naboo. I love the look for Naboo. It's one of my favorite Star Wars settings. It just looks so unique, all the cool waterfalls and the interesting architecture. I just think it's gorgeous. So you currently have landed on Theed, it's the capital city of the planet Naboo. And by capital city, I mean capital city of the human government that exists on Naboo, because Johanna is definitely aware of this, but anyone else who would do any research, Naboo, which are what the humans call themselves, and the Gungans, over the course of history, have had a number of conflicts. The Gungans are a much older race. The Nabooans settled here. It's been centuries, so it's kind of a moot argument, but still, there's a little bit of the indigenous population struggle that goes on. And Naboo is also Emperor Palpatine's homeworld. So Theed gets a lot of funding. And as you guys land and you're headed to meet with Counselor Roro Bibble, you see there are a number of statues of Palpatine. No, the Gungans have not done well at all under the Emperor. You see there are a number of statues for Palpatine here. You notice also, Johanna, because you have probably seen the Emperor Palpatine of late, they're all statues of him before his transformation to the horrid creature that he is now. So these are all like Clone War era stylings of the Emperor Palpatine, not the scheming, hunched over troglodyte look that he has now in our current timeline. And there are a number of troops that walk the streets, but you find there are no stormtroopers here. All the troops are all Naboo issue, the Naboo issue style. They've got the kind of leather vests and the funky helmets that we remember from Clone Wars. Not a whole lot of there's been some refinements to the costuming and the uniforms and the like, but yeah, it's a well secured city that seems very happy and very prosperous because Emperor Palpatine would have it no other way, especially after he installed his own queen. So we cut to the. Oh, I'm going to show this one picture because hot damn, is that just awesome looking? So that's kind of the landing bay that you guys land on, and you take like a small boat and go into the main city itself. And so we do another screen. Oh, I'm curious though. Before I jump to another scene, what is Kel's reaction to this? Like, what do you think about Theed and Naboo and all that you're seeing in the pro-Empire kind of stylings that are going on here?
I think Kel is like, I think the place where he's from is not quite Tatooine levels of, barrenness and whatever, right? But this is certainly the most like civilized, established place he's been in a very long time. And I think he's looking around and he's impressed by the sort of imperial splendor of it all, and the statues and everything. And he's like, this is what life should be like. Safe. People should be fine. Because the imperial presence is, if I understand correctly, kind of like it's there, but it's not like stormtrooper squads walking up and down the street.
Exactly.
It's the Naboo guard, so it's kind of localized, right? So you got the pretense of it being like, as it should be, rather than like the boot gripping down on your neck.
Exactly. The boot is invisible.
Yes, yeah.
And Kelly's
certainly not savvy enough to recognize who's wearing that boot.
And coming from an area, your planet probably a little less tamed, it's striking how every piece of greenery that you find is a piece of horticulture. It is all planned. It is all something that they went out of their way to have a perfectly manicured and trimmed tree. As you can see, all of these things have significance, and there's nothing wild that grows anywhere in Theed. Squaz, what's your initial reaction? It's coming from Tatooine. There's no dirt here. There's no sand.
It's it's too clean. Even in like most of the cities, there's lots of grime and stuff around, and it's just too clean here. It's weird. Not enough scrap.
And then Johanna, this being under such strict imperial control, how are you feeling about being here in the middle of a place where you're probably not wanted?
Definitely not comfortable. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for the more likely imperial agents that are sure to be here.
Oh yeah. For every one not stormtrooper here, there are probably 3 spies and informants who are watching. It's entirely likely that you've already been spotted and reported back. So your every movement is being tracked. Grinnick, any particular reaction from you of note? What do we see Grinnick doing as you guys are headed down the main thoroughfare towards the palace itself?
I actually remarked to whoever's next to me, like, is this, like, are we still in Canto Bight? This looks like exactly the same place we were in last week.
It's true. It's interesting. You guys count stuff in really pretty places. I don't know why that is. So you guys come into, we do another wipe, we jump ahead, you guys walking. And if you remember Queen Amidala's palace, like it's very large open areas, and You're led by a couple of guards to a smaller conference room where you see Roro Bibble. Roro Bibble, of course, is human. If you take a look in the NPCs and places, he's on row 4. There's the Chancellor, and he looks as all 4 of you walk in. And yes, I know, I just love that picture. So
But isn't he called Naboo as well?
Yeah.
So it's Naboo on Naboo.
Yes, it's Naboo on Naboo. Yes, I heard you liked it, so I put a Naboo in your boo. I couldn't help myself. But yes, there you go. That's what happens when Rich looks for a Naboo cosplay. And I'm like, oh my god, let's totally have the Mighty Boosh in here. Is it too breaking? Is it brain breaking, Will? I could chase the picture out of it's too much.
No, I'm just going to be giggling at that pun every time.
That's good. I mean, because he is a foppish character. He does wear a turban, which is not in style here, but it's just a thing that he's going to make happen. He's going to hang on to his turban so long that when the fashion comes back around again, he'll be a trendsetter. That's his plan. That's how Roro does his personal style. So he comes in. There's a large marble table in the middle here, with a little hollow projector in the middle of the table, and there are a few windows that you can look out onto the river that surrounds this part of Theed. It's very ostentatious. This is not a room with a bunch of like bookcases and the like. There's just lots of opulent paintings and some statues alongside. Lots of things that could be broken very easily if you are not careful. He says, hunters of House Benelex, welcome. Welcome, please. All of you may have a seat if you so wish, though, my large friend, I'm not sure if these chairs will fit you. Very well.
Just like a slithering sigh, like
I forgive myself. Yeah, it's very important that all of you have come. Let me see. And he pulls up his little data pad. He's got this like quill thing that he uses, like a little. I see all of you have signed a non-disclosure agreement so that we may speak openly. Is that correct? By the way, did all of you actually sign the non-disclosure agreement?
Of course.
Yeah, I think
Sure.
Grinnick told Cal to do it, and he just did it immediately without reading any of the writing.
He says, now, I know that you are probably enjoying your visit to Theed, one of the most opulent and wonderful cities in all of the galaxy. But unfortunately, this particular hunt will take you far away from Theed. I merely wish to meet you here so that I can get a little idea of who will be carrying out the Queen's bidding. Again, of course, she has culpable deniability, which is very important. I'm acting on her behalf, but you must not say anything. Now, see, the Gungans, there's a bit of a problem. Of late, you see, one of my particular duties as Chancellor is to keep a particular eye upon the Gungan population. I'm not sure if you're aware of the history of our peoples. We are currently existing in peace, but there have been a number of concerns about rebellious activities by the Gungans, not in the space of that fabled rebellion, but more along the lines of more local problem, terrorists. Yes, and in particular, I keep an eye upon the health and well-being of the Gungans, because often if they are sick or diseased, it can cause a great deal of disturbance among the people. And so we do what we can to make sure that they have proper medication in hospitals. Of course, it's difficult to do because they insist upon living in swamps, sometimes underwater, so I've heard, also in the forests. Difficult to get medicinal supplies out to them, but I do what I can. I do what I can to make sure that they're properly treated. My friends, something has been happening lately that's very disturbing, and that's why I've called upon House Benelex and why they've sent you here. Some of the Gungans, you see, in particular, there are ailments that will cause a Gungan to slowly waste away. It's a wasting disease. Luckily, humans don't have the ability to concoct this disease or contract it. Um, but Gungans find it's very difficult. They lose mobility. Often their minds will drift away, and they have particular areas where the infirm will be kept until their last days. Well, you see, recently, a few weeks ago, a number of the infirm woke up. They started walking around. They resumed their duties. Although we have seen them building things. Not
Well, isn't
entirely sure.
it good news? I mean, some sick folk got better. I mean, it's
It's true, but it's very queer. It's very odd. Yes, wouldn't you say?
I mean, I guess
Well,
I would have thought a place like this there was no kind of disease that anybody, you know, why hasn't a cure been given to these people?
a cure has never been found. We are shocked at this development. And of course, delighted, of course, but still, it's very odd. And we need you to take a look into it. I suspect there is something very untoward taking place. Though we need you. Now, I understand there is no particular bounty, but Benelex is very revered for your ability to ferret out, as it were. Do you know what a ferret is? It's a very adorable little creature. To discover, and I understand that you're all not from Naboo. You may not know what a ferret is, but it's a very small creature that worms its way into things. Not in a scary way, but they're fuzzy. Hold on. And he goes over and he pulls up a holo projector and he shows you a couple of ferrets. And he says, "See, ferret out. They're very curious. They're very curious, but they're also unobtrusive. And that's what I need from you. Although I do see you have very large weapons. So if you happen to kill some Gungans, make sure you do it only in self-defense, friends. Yes? Yes?
I mean, I ain't gonna go around shooting no sick people.
Indeed. And that's why you are so valuable here. But if you find out what the source of this cure is, I need to know. Because there are rumors, my friends, that there is some other presence that has come to Naboo and are curing their sick. There are rumors among the Naboo that some new religion is beginning. I cannot validate these claims, but it is enough of a concern for me to make sure that I secured your assistance. Yes? Yes? You will go and you will find out what is happening, and then you will report back to me or take care of the problem.
And then I pipe up. I'm like, by taking care of the problem, you mean what exactly?
I mean that if there is someone who wishes to foment rebellion, if there is some other entity that is influencing our brother Gungans, then this person is likely a threat to not only the Gungans themselves, but also the Nabooans, and by extension, Emperor Palpatine himself. Think of all of the credits you will earn for House Benelex and yourselves, my friends. You've already seen the stipend, and that does not include danger pay.
So I've been listening to him talk long enough. Can I roll to investigate a mystery to see?
You certainly can.
Okay.
Now, there might be some questions that, based off of the information you have, you may not be able to ferret out. I'll just kind of caveat that. But yes, you can definitely investigate a mystery.
Okay, that's a 6.
Okay, well, with a 6, are you wishing to spend a luck, or are you just going to earn an XP here?
I'm just going to earn an XP.
Awesome. So you are listening very closely. You step back from the table because you've pulled out a data pad, and unfortunately your elbow bumps into a very, very expensive looking vase, which wobbles a couple of times and then falls over. The vase Kel, you see, it's like it's got this gold filigree in it of like a Gungan shaking hands with a queen, like it's some kind of gift of peace from a long ago era. But it's not anymore because it shatters into 1,000 pieces. And Aurora Bibble's mouth drops open. What do you do? Johanna, what do you do?
Oh, terribly sorry. Okay, so yeah, she's just gonna apologize as sincerely as possible and try and smooth things over.
I do believe, Grinnick, perhaps your compatriot should wait outside for the rest of this review. Oh, that was a priceless artifact.
So I turn at Joanna and I just make a, I don't know, quizzical face going, could you wait outside?
Johanna rolls her eyes and just steps outside.
And then I turn back to Pibbles,
Mhm.
and I say, I just want to clarify something. You do understand the terms and conditions of working with House Benelex. We are not assassins. We are specialized in retrieval, and we do have on the books a live capture policy. Now, I don't want you to confuse us with regular run-of-the-mill gun for hire assassins here. So I just want to be clear that you understand the business relationship that's going on here.
I understand completely, Grinnick. Don't you worry. I know that if there is a particular force that's influencing the Gungans, you will take care of it. And when I say take care of it, I do not mean assassinate it. I mean that it will be removed.
Okay.
Good. Oh, do any of you have any other questions?
Yeah, so why are we grabbing the guy that's making people feel better? Because he's...
A fair question, my little diminutive creature person. If it is merely a cure that is helping the Gungans, I merely want to know information about it. However, if this cure is offered for some kind of slavish service to a rebellious, then that can't do. We would need to learn how it is that they are being helped, and then we will integrate that into the medicinal offerings that we give to the Gungans. Yes?
Couldn't we just get a copy of the cure then and bring that to you? Seems like it'd be easier than getting a whole guy.
Well, it does. However, you are a bounty hunter, so I want the whole package, little friend. He comes over and he pats your little head on your hood there.
And you said that they are how do you know that the people that you see walking around are the ones that are sick?
Oh, a fair question. I have a database of those who have been listed as the infirm with a wasting disease. However, Gungans often all look the same. There's only really two types. They're the skinny ones with the longer ears, and then the rather rotund ones with a booming voice. So I'm not entirely sure that will work for you.
Okay.
And he brings up a hollow, and you see a few of the Gungans, and you can see that there's a particular, kind of a jaundiced look to their skin. These are those who suffer from the wasting disease. And it shows a few stages as they're like their ears start to droop, and you can see that the skin starts to flake off, and eventually, they're becoming very skeletal before they pass.
So the people who get better from this disease? They don't have any lingering marks?
They do, in fact, have lingering marks. They just get up and start to walk around. It's very disturbing.
Well,
Horrific, one might say.
I reckon we'll be able to spot someone who looks like this.
I like him. He's very smart. Looking forward to seeing your good work. He seems to buddy up with the human who didn't break a vase.
Can I roll to see if this guy's as slimy as he seems?
You sure can. I think. Are you trying to? It's not really reading a bad situation.
What is being concealed here?
Yeah, that looks good. There we go.
All right. So sharp. That's a 9, and with my newly increased sharp, that's a 10.
Nice. All right. So that is a great one. Why don't you?
Yeah. So first is what's being concealed here.
Roro knows what is healing these people of the wasting disease, and he doesn't seem like he wants to tell you. It seems like it's some kind of secret that he wants you to either discover on your own, or he's not allowed to say. It's hard to tell which of those it is.
Okay. From looking at how the Gungan looks, can I make a guess at what can it do, or?
Cool. Yes. So you see not only pictures of the people who are infirm and from the wasting disease, just some hollows taken of them as they were in particular, like kind of imagining something similar to like a leper colony type deal, to seeing them walk around, and they're walking around, but they don't look any healthier whatsoever. So whatever is going on here, they just get up instead of being able to walk around, or they, being infirm, muscles atrophied, all that good stuff. They get up and they walk around, no complaints. There's a deadness to their eyes, so there's something very unsettling about their ability to continue functioning. Does that help? Does that feel like a fair?
Yeah, seems good.
Cool. All right, that's your 2.
Yeah. I'll say to Grinnig, like, I don't like this guy, but creds are creds.
Yep, and we signed a contract, so.
Excellent. This is why I work ahead, friends. It has been a true pleasure meeting all of you. And don't worry about the vase. I'll just take it off of the part of your stipend for the contract. And if you need a second appraisal for the vase, feel free. I understand. It's business, my friends. I wish you the best of luck. Do you need me to provide you with transportation to the Gungan forest? Or there will be a small fee for that if that's required, but I'm more than happy to do so if you don't.
We got a shuttle.
Good. Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Again, please use a secure channel when contacting back to me your findings. Wonderful. Wonderful, friends. Oh, well, you have a great deal of work to do, so I will not offer refreshments, though it is customary. If you wish to take some with you, feel free. We have little jigglies, and we do have some Alderani ale, which is extremely expensive now. But I've pulled out all the stops for you, my bounty hunters.
Yep. We'll get on it, sir. We'll find out what's making these poor people better. And, yeah. And he just collapses into silence as he sort of tries to work out what he's actually doing.
Awesome. Cool. So we're going to cut to Johanna. Johanna, you are escorted out. The doors are closed, right? And you're kind of out in the hallway. All kinds of huge marble walls and all kinds of tabards and the like, and a Nabooan guard. He marches past you, but then he glances over and says, "Moldor, walk with me."
I don't like that he knows my name, but yeah, I'll walk with him.
And he walks, and you can tell he has the military presence, like that military stance. And as you two are walking down an empty hallway, he says, "This is a very important mission. What you are about to face is very dangerous. I understand that House Benelex often captures the threat, but your former employers feel that it might be a better idea if this particular threat is destroyed."
I stopped caring what my former employers felt about things a long time ago.
Understood, but I know that you have a few relatives who are on a particular list. I would hate for anything to happen to them. The spice mines of Kessel are very dangerous. You understand?
I You'll find that I don't respond well to threats.
I'm not worried about
Especially
your...
threats to my family.
Oh. Well, I'm sure you'll do the right thing, Johanna. And trust me, when you meet her, you will understand. And then he turns around on a heel and starts marching back into his pattern.
I stomp back to the outside the room.
Cool. So your compatriots come out. You guys will start heading towards the shuttle, and I think this might be a good point for us to take a quick little bio break. So it's 3 after. Let's go ahead and take a 7-minute break. So we'll meet at 10 after. So everybody, see you in a few. Hey, Blaze.
Hey, Rich. So did you start looking at all the games for Conflict Con?
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. You have an eye on in particular? Because in a few hours it's sign up time.
I know. At 5 it's sign up time. I've got a window like.
I have a
no.
calendar reminder.
I'm going to be running 2 for the first time with the community. So
that's fantastic. What are you running?
Yeah. I'm running 2 Dungeon World games.
Nice.
There, I created like a pseudo setting that like both are the same and they both have an adventure for it. It's like just this small village somewhere that put this Lich King to sleep a generation ago, and now the Lich King is back awake, and it's 2 adventures where they're one-offs, they're complete one-offs, but it all follows like it's the children of the people that put him to sleep, and so all of the players are playing adventurers who like have parents who were legends, and so what do they pass down, and then what do they do on their own?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That sounds really fun. When are you running those games?
One's on Friday morning at 9 and the other's on Saturday afternoon at 2.
Yeah, one of my games is Friday at 9 and the other is Saturday at 2. So you and I were in competition. But not really. I think they'll fill. Dungeon World brings the boys to the yard.
Oh,
so
yes.
That's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's really cool. Anybody else running games for Gauntlet Con? What you running?
I'm doing a Cthulhu Dark game, which is set
Nice.
in 1930s Chicago, which is it's a pre-written one done by one of the guys over at Roleplay Public Radio, which I've run a few times, and it's easy and it's good, right? And then the other one is Microscope, because I wanted to do something where I could just sit back and let the players do all the hard work. And
Nice.
So yeah,
I will try to join your Microscope game.
Oh yeah, it's so I haven't really pinned down much of the details, Mark. So I've left it quite open. But I was going to do like some sort of plague infection, like as a story. I was thinking maybe like a zombie one, but then we can sort of decide whether we do like far future or fantasy world or whatever, right? Like we can decide on the day because it's Microscope. Everything's open.
My pre-established reason is I'm using Microscope right now for work purposes, and so I'm trying to get enough experience playing it.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
I'd love to know more about that. Yeah.
That's cool.
Maybe that's a Gauntlet Slack channel or something. Conversation we'll have. Yeah.
Chat about that. That's cool. I will tell you, Lowell that's one of his favorite games. Lowell Francis is a big fan of Microscope, so that's awesome to hear you're running it. I wonder if he's going to try to sneak in. Poor guy's working almost every hour of Gauntlet Con. Good. So let's jump back in. I'm curious, do you guys have anything, like, do you want to have any conversation on the shuttle ride over to where the Naboo forests are? Or do you want me to just throw you? Okay, yeah, good. All right, so on the shuttle, kind of heading over towards the way.
So I'm slightly confused by what we're doing here. We're gonna find somebody who's helping sick people and bring them in.
Yeah, that sounds about it. Yeah.
I mean, they ain't done nothing.
Yeah, this feels like some very sick sheb that we're going after. Like, I don't know how to feel about this. I don't feel right, that's for sure.
Criff. And then just stares out of the window.
Yeah, and he definitely knew more than he was willing to say. But, from the pictures, the people that, the people didn't look like they were getting any better. So I can see why there's some concern, but the way he puts it just sounds bad.
So, Johanna's going over her memories from the ISB. Does she know of any projects that maybe resemble this?
Oh, you want to go in some dark past here?
Yep.
Oh, sounds good. Yeah, this is going to be terrifying. I hope you succeed. I also hope you fail. It's interesting. Roll plus tech.
8. Is it 10?
Dark Pass, roll plus tech, because it was supposed to be plus weird, so I just converted it over. All right, on a 10 plus, you ask 2 questions from the list below. On 7, you ask 9. On a miss, you ask a question anyway, without meaning you were personally complicit in creating the situation you're now dealing with.
Do I know anyone who might be behind this? Because I got an 8, so I get to ask one.
Yeah. So you. That's a great question. As you're researching your files, the things that you maybe saved over, you find that there was an agreement that was approved by the Empire. It was an arrangement between the Nabooan Queen, Calantha. She offered amnesty to a particular Geonosian by the name of Karina. And I'll type that into our chat. But the agreement was based on so Karna was offered amnesty as long as Karna worked to ensure the pacification of Gungan threats.
So the Geonosians, they were the guys that were all into sort of genetic.
Actually, the Geonosians were the kind of bug type creatures that had the droid manufacturing factories.
Right. Well, I didn't know exactly what's going on, but
Are you in the room with us when you're looking at your data pad and you're looking confused about the whole situation? Yeah. Okay, so I look at you and said, this sounds like something that we've seen on Kashyyyk, like where I was from. Like there's been rivalries between Trandoshans and Wookiees for centuries, or millennia, or for as long as we live together. But ever since the Empire came to be, there are all sorts of stories of how the Empire manages non-human populations. And one way is to put them to work, and others is to make them go away.
Kel looks horrified.
Give me a second, guys.
Yeah, no problem.
Like, I'm not saying that that's the answer.
Oh, check in with Squaz. So you're piloting the shuttle, Squaz. So the forest actually has landing areas, but you do need to be able to VTOL. So it's not a thing where you can just landing like an airplane. But we'll say that maybe you're in communication with some of the Gungan defense force, as you guys have come straight from Theed towards them. But it seems that Roro Bibble has given you guys some documentation. You notice, though, it is not official, like you're on Naboo government business. It's just you guys are, I don't know, what do you, because I imagine they would have consulted with you. Is it you guys are there on some kind of hunting trip, or there to trade goods, and there's some stuff they've just thrown in the back of your shuttle? What do you think is the guise for what you guys are, why you're there?
I think that it's going to be something like medical related. Like we were sent to do a tour of their medical facilities to see what can be improved through cross-cultural exchange or something.
That sounds awesome. That's a really smart cover. Cool. Sweet. So Rob's back. Do you guys want to continue that conversation? No. Kind of.
I will show the data pad to everybody and basically explain who Karina is.
Cool. So Karna the Great, as she was known, was a Geonosian queen of the Stalgasen hive, and therefore Geonosis during the Clone Wars. She is thought to be dead. Yeah, but evidently someone using the name of Karna has been granted asylum on Naboo in order to pacify the Gungan population.
There's got to be a real good bounty on a Geonosian, right?
Yes, a long-standing, very old bounty on Geonosians.
Is she wanting for crimes anywhere?
She is. It's one of those you have to actually go researching back because this is 30 years ago.
Oh.
And her crimes were kind of blanketed under the Clone Wars. So, but yeah, there's lots of people who she hurt because Geonosians created the droid factory facilities that were a big part of the Clone Wars. So war crimes, all that good stuff.
Okay, so if, for example, we would find her alive, there would be like a way, like a channel that we could, justify,
Absolutely.
Not murdering her in the process and thus living up to the standards that is House Benelix standards.
House Benelix, you can definitely justify war crimes and her being handed over. The bounty on her head is 100,000 credits. She's assumed to be dead, but proof if she's brought in alive to be tried for her crimes would definitely be productive. That said, you also, based on what Johanna has just shared with you, the Empire offered her some kind of amnesty through Naboo as one of their puppet governments. So enforcing that could be a little problematic. But hey, the bounty hunter guilds exist within and also without the Empire. They've been around before the Empire was a thing. They'll be around after.
My job ends when the detainee is out of my hands.
and to get paid. So you transmit the data files, squaws, and you guys are approved for a landing. And we will go back to our NPCs and play, or to our Naboo tab, and I will reveal cool pictures because I can't help it. So if you guys head down, I'll go ahead and just share screen because I'm just that silly. So before long, we cut with the group of you making your way from the shuttle down a large path here. As you can see, it's well worn, and there are a lot of ancient statues. You can see that this was an area of many great temples long, long ago. You can see all the kind of hidden faces of the many statues that have fallen over the centuries and millennia. And you see here are a row of different Gungans, and they all have the wasting disease. Very easy for you to see the telltale signs of their flaked skin and their jaundice appearance and jaundice coloring. They're all lined up, and you see that they are led by these guys here, the kind of overseers, and they appear to be restoring this temple. So they're bringing in a lot of stonework and the like and starting to fix up this particular temple. And there are a few of them that are kind of standing like guards, statue-like, waiting outside a particular area as you guys are observing. What do you want to do?
So I think as we're unloading, Kel is standing there taking the air and looking out over at these guys, and I think he calls out over, like, brash, plucky, naive trainee that he is. He just calls out to them and goes, "Hey there! Hey, what y'all doing down there?"
Nice. One of the overseers on their like little two-legged mounts comes over with his little shock pike. He goes, "What are you doing here? Don't
Well,
know a bunch of humans
we're here to see you.
trandoshing into me."
Yeah, you, pal. We're here to see you.
I think you're trying to de-escalate a situation by attempting to manipulate him that you are here to see him. So once you give him a reason, tell him what you want him to do and roll plus charm. You're pretty good at this, trainee.
Yeah, but the dice can be cruel.
They can.
Oh, that's a 10.
That is not cruel at all. It's not cruel enough, really, is what I'm thinking. 10 plus, they'll do it for the reason you gave them. If you ask too much, so he checks his little, like he pulls out a little kind of hollow display and sees the fake identification of you guys being attached to a medical tour. It's all empty. They're all gone. They're working now.
They're
Go.
working? I thought they were sick.
What? Everything okay now. You come. I'll show you. And he-
Lead on, man.
His little-
I think you said, though, that we saw some of them there with the wasting disease.
Yeah, they appear to have the wasting disease. They are walking around and carrying large stones and replacing things that have fallen from centuries ago to rebuild the temple.
Mm,
Are they talking to each other?
No.
Like, they're just working in silence together?
They're working in utter silence.
so
You
I'm
only
gonna
hear the
go
sound of the stones that clap against each other when they're dropped. Yeah, sorry.
So I'm gonna go up to one of the workers who are walking around with this disease, signs of this disease. Excuse me. Hello?
Slowly turns his head and regards you, and you see it. Even Gungans, right? When they focus, you'll see the eyes kind of zoom in. The pupils will adjust, but it just points its head towards you.
Are you? Well, obviously you're not feeling well, but this is quite surprising. How is it that you are walking about? We were told you were in critical condition.
The ancients revealed me. I have
The
work to do.
Okay. I want to investigate mystery.
Okay, yeah, you should do that.
Roll. Okay, so that's an 8 plus 2, 10.
Nice. You get 2 questions.
Okay. So, what is being concealed here?
Oh, cool. So, as this Gungan is talking to you, it's obvious that something is controlling it. You just get that heebie-jeebies that there's not a lot of Gungan there. The accent feels fake, like whatever is asking it to talk or talking through it is making it sound Gunganish. So it is being controlled. This Gungan isn't all here.
Okay, and how is this thing doing this?
So as you come closer, you see when it opens its mouth, there is this like yellow, like it's almost for a second you might think it's at his tonsils, but it's actually just behind his tongue and above. It kind of peeks up and then slips back down. It's like some kind of like a worm, perhaps.
Right.
I'm just
Well,
saying that Rob reaction is like my favorite moment of the game so far. So thank you.
right. Well, I'll let you get back to it and take care of yourself. And I walk back to my group.
Blessings upon you.
And on you.
And then it turns and picks up the stone that it had put down to talk to you and tromps over. The Gungan, who is very much alive on his little, I don't know what you call those things, but like I'm sure there's an action figure for it, so it probably has a name, but the little two-leg, it's like a not chocobo. It says, "You want to go see? We take you to the colony."
Yeah, that's what we're here for.
So he moves ahead. He's not really interested in engaging in conversation. You think you want to do, Johanna, as they're walking on?
Yeah, I'm gonna trail behind with the rest of the group. At a distance. Following at a distance, and sort of quietly so that he can't overhear us. This is bad. There is something inside those sick Gungans that is controlling them.
So they're not actually any better, so it's okay. All right.
Yeah, well, no, not better. Not from a reasonable point of view, anyway.
I'm like, well, that's kind of good. I assumed worse than that. I feel better now that there's like something physical that we can probably, deal with.
I only hope that we can deal with it without killing those that it's controlling.
True. But I mean, if it's a thing, then it might just mean, like a leech that you pull out. I'm assuming here. And I have no problem sticking my hand down someone's throat to get something out, as we've seen before.
It's true. He'll do that.
So we just have to do like minor surgery to 40, 50 some Gungans.
But Joanna, you had something? Sorry, I interrupted you earlier.
No, I think Joanna was all Joanna was going to do beyond that was describe what she saw inside the throat.
Cool. So as you're walking ahead, Kel, this Gungan who's on his little chocobo, his name is Frog, and he says, "You're going to see wonders. No one gets sick no more. Fact. My grandpa came back to me. Miracles. The ancients. Miracles."
Well, I can't wait. Certainly, everyone seems real dedicated to their work. Is everybody?
Long ago, we used to have lots of power. But we forgot. Now we be reminded. Now we remember what we can do. The ancients, they bring us power. Everyone come back. It's like a great reunion.
Yeah. I can't wait to meet some of these folk.
He smiles, and then you guys will come to what looks like very obvious, like does not fit in the forest metal structure that kind of looks like they just hoisted it over, dropped it down. It's an infirmary. It's like one of those prefab infirmaries that would drop in the middle of nowhere type deal. There you go. Doctor, leave. But you guys, take a look, you want.
The doc ain't here?
No one's sick.
Where did he go? It'd be real useful for us to have a word with his methods. They seem real effective.
Oh, yeah, sure. Here, I give you, and he'll slide you the ident code for the doctor's comm unit.
Thank
I
you.
wait here for you. When you're done, I take you to village. Meet you with doctor.
I appreciate that. Now, okay, gentlemen, let's conduct our medical survey of the ward.
Cool. So it's like a big, imagine a trailer set up with different beds and the like. You guys can head in. It's really easy to hook up with a data pad with their information, check through the medical records. All of the 20 patients that were housed here, many of them were in like stage 4 of the wasting disease. Some were early term. They all were being kept here. It was actually a Nabooan doctor who was responsible here because they can't catch it, right? So there was a Nabooan doctor, a human doctor, who was here and kept all the files. You could see in their records they had no idea what was happening. The Nabooans, the Gungans, just got up off after a visit from some of their family, one, and then many of the other Gungans over the course of a few days just got up and started walking out of the infirmary. That their questions were very evasive. It seemed like some kind of religious use of the Force is what the Nabooan puts with a big question mark. But you have a feeling like that's more of a like, I have no idea what the hell's going on reaction. What do you do?
So I have a move that is called Oops.
Awesome.
If I want to stumble across something important, tell the keeper. And I feel like now is as good a time to do that as any.
I love that move.
Can I help? Can I roll a help someone or something?
Well, the oops isn't actually a roll, but I love the idea of the two of you discovering it together, maybe?
Yeah.
Cool. So you discover something important. Yeah, I think what you discover is, Kel, as you're standing there, we'll say maybe that you walk out and I don't see Kel as like smoking a death stick. So maybe it's just a thing where you're kind of looking out towards the swamp and you see a pair of Gungans moving kind of mechanically, like those that were helping out at the temple. And they are pulling something out of the swamp. It looks like a dead Gungan. And one of the two Gungans reaches down and kind of waves his hand or something over the dead Gungan's mouth, and it starts to sit up. What do you do? This is like 100 yards away. Sorry, should I do meters? It's 100 yards and meters away because I'm terrible at that. No lie, I play on Sundays with some friends who are in like Belgium and Norway and the like, and a friend of mine in our character keeper actually put metric conversion in there so for me, and then a Fahrenheit to Celsius conversion in the character keeper for me so that I can sound less dumb. But I don't have that moved over to this, so I'll just say
in Britain we use
way.
To be really confusing, we use both systems, so
That's
like
true.
it's fine. Holy Sifspit, did you
take an XP? Take an XP for using my lexicon. Do it.
Nice. Did you see that, Grinnick?
I feel like I must roll a sanity check, but there is no such roll in here. Yeah, I just I'm. It seems that I did see that, although I don't think that. Yeah. My natural reaction would be like kill it because that's the only thing I can think of at this point.
I mean, I think Cal would go blundering over to help. You know, like clearly we thought it was a dead body, but it's really just someone who's been badly hurt. Like it's time to. We got it. There's a medical bay right here. Like, come on, we got to get him in there.
Awesome. As you come over, this thing is sat up. The water is just like still just coming out of its mouth and its ears. You see that one of its eyes has been like eaten away, and when you come up, it looks up at you, and the only sound that it makes is just a.
Gee, you're all cocked up. What the?
And one of
You
the
okay?
two jaundiced Gungans moves over and kind of puts his hands up. Everything okay. Everything okay. Everything okay.
I take out my blaster and I say, "Everything, no carking, okay."
So Squaws and Johanna, Griddick is ceased to be flipping out a little bit, and you see that he is facing down two of the jaundiced Gungans, like over maybe 50 meters away. I don't know if that's like a
if Grimmick is freaking out, then I am going to draw my blaster.
Nice.
No, things are not shebbing okay.
Take another XP for that lexicon use. Yes, I love it. Good. Yes, you guys are failing sanity checks left and right. We don't even have the mechanic. You're just doing it. Yeah, these things, they're gonna like start walking away from you. The not alive Gungan just turns and his head just kind of droops down a little bit and still dripping, right? Like this slime and ichor as it slowly walks away. They don't seem to care that you're very upset that they exist. What do you do?
I look at them and I'm like, what's in the carking lake? Like, what's in the carking water that's making them do this? Like, just answer me.
Nice. So one of the jaundice, the one that had kind of stopped Kel saying everything okay, says, "The ancients is the reunion." And then it turns and it starts to walk, and they're headed towards that temple.
You ever seen anything like this before? Man.
I feel like we're dreaming or something. This can't be real.
I think like at this point, Johanna is going to have run over to see what's going on. What?
You see three Gungans walking away. One of them looks very, very not good.
That guy cocked it. He ain't just sick. He's gone. He's deader than Darth Sidious.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to find the source of this then. Did you see what brought him back? Or
So they pulled him out of the river. They waved a hand at him and he stood up. I mean, it's in the water. It must be in the water. I mean, look at the water. Like,
Johanna sort of peeks over the floor.
Go. The water is very brackish here. It's a swampy area, and you don't see anything. Maybe we should go in.
Johanna just sort of backs away.
Squaws, what's going on with you?
I'm gonna say that Squaz has been like back at the medical tent, just like kind of like going through a data pad and like grab a hypo spray and pocket it, and yeah. I want to try and look. Is there any mention of like worms or anything? Assuming Johanna shared that with us.
Oh, that's a real interesting thing. Why don't you investigate a mystery?
Alrighty. I think I accidentally closed my roll for your party.
Oh, no worries. I'll relink you. Actually, we have like it linked 7 times up there earlier. But there you go. Mutually driven ink.
Okay. 6, 7, 8, 9.
Nice. On a 9, you get 1 question.
Okay. This is investigate a mystery.
It is.
Yeah. So, what sort of creature or threat is it?
Oh, yeah. So you see, under the research, that yes, there was a worm that this doctor had found, and there it seems that the worm has the ability to attach itself to the spinal cord of the Gungans to allow movement. This bears further investigation.
Okay, so I'm gonna run outside. Guys, I think I found and see everyone with guns drawn. And now's not a good time.
Oh, and the doctor does say that I have one of these worms, and will continue to study it. But there is no one here at the infirmary, so I will wait at the village until I'm reassigned.
What is it, Squaz?
There's it says they found a worm. Well, tell them what was on the pad. He says the doctor's in the village. And there might be a worm here? I'll keep looking. Is everything okay out here? I didn't hear any shooting yet.
We found a dead Gungan literally walking. Apparently.
He was dead. I swear he was dead. Pulled him out of the water and he was still dead.
I was missing a goddamn eye. Maybe we should go pay the doctor a visit.
Yeah, that sounds like a really cracking good idea.
Yes. Maybe approach with calm first.
It's kind of ironic because like Rennick is like this cool, calm, calculated guy who's just losing his sheb all over the place. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Awesome. The doctor's name is Sabe Raji. And yeah, we'll just kind of jump forward to you guys knocking on her home. I'm imagining, because they don't really show what a Nabooan village that I recall from the prequels, what a Nabooan village looks like. But I'm imagining kind of like I'm going to bite off of the Ewoks a little bit, like treehouse kind of thing going on. Because that's fun, right? So there you've got the style, Ewok style of long wooden bridges that connect a number of large trees been hollowed out to homes. And you find Sabraji is there. She's a female human. You guys knock on the door. And she opens the door slightly and says, yes, you recognize her from her ident file as the doctor that was there at that infirmary.
What was our cover again?
Oh, she's the doctor from the infirmary.
No,
our cover is that we were there to
sorry.
survey their medical stuff to learn about other healing related technology type thing.
Okay. We're here to learn more about how you've been treating these this wasting disease here. It's quite remarkable recovery that you've been able to bring about.
Oh. Please. Are you a Jawa?
I am?
Please come in. Please. She opens the door wider, and you see that it's there's pieces of technology, but a lot of the surroundings, like the core of this, is very rustic. Wooden floors, fur on the bed, and you see she has like a small work desk that's set up here with a number of devices and data pad and some readers. And she comes in, she closes the door, and she says, "Listen, I've already requested a reassignment. I'm very worried about what's going on here."
Worried about what exactly?
These people are not cured. The wasting disease is rather communicable, which is why they were kept in a particular colony in an infirmary away from the others. And the Gungans who have left my infirmary are not cured. They could be spreading it to all the other Gungans. This could be a pandemic. And you see, in a jar, floating, is a particular worm that you saw a glimpse of before. Let's see if I had a picture of it, and I unfortunately lost the picture. Yeah, it's a large yellow worm. Here we go. There's the picture. Hold on, I'll just screen share so you guys can see it. It is inert and not moving. And this is what it looks like.
What can you tell me about that?
She starts to rattle off some of the things the squaws read from her data file in the medical. It appears to attach itself to the spinal cord. I'm not entirely sure that this thing is only keyed to work within Gungans. It seems to work, and it may work with other bipeds.
Method of delivery?
Method of delivery is if it enters any orifice of the biped, it can burrow its way towards the spinal cord and take over the definitely the mobility sensors, but I worry that it may be able to control other manners of the brain. Do you have a shuttle? Perhaps we could just leave.
I'm sorry, but we can't leave until we find the source of this problem.
Oh, I'm so very sorry. I don't think I'm going to go with you. I have a comm device. I will stay in communication with you, friends.
Thank you. Have you noticed anyone who maybe I should do a move? I'll do a move first.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Yeah, sorry. I sometimes forget which system I'm playing. Sorry, let's go to moves.
Yeah, what do you want to do? What do you want to happen?
The question I want to ask is something like when did this worm thing appear, and if someone knew about it, type of thing.
Oh, cool. I think that might be what happened here.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And that's sharp. So that's +1 if I remember correctly.
I think you're
In a
right.
while. Yes. All right. Let's do it. Let's roll some dice.
It's been a while since you need to be sharp.
Blue 3, 5. That's 8 + 1, 9.
You got a question?
So I'm going to ask, I think it's what happened here. Yeah.
Cool. So you are able to work with the data pad of the doctor and some of her observations, and then anything that you were provided from the chancellor to find that tie it to the timing of Johanna's agreement with the Geonosian. This started a fortnight ago. Rumors of the returns of the ancients, and that there was people were talking about rebuilding the temples. And that's when the sick started becoming healed. And then there's rumors of the possibility of return of the lost relatives and the like. That's all stepping stones towards this return of the ancients idea that seems to be the timeline that you're talking about. So it's all happened over the course of a couple of weeks.
Okay. I have another question.
If somebody wants to help out and
yeah.
push you up,
Yeah.
so help out, you roll plus cool.
Yep.
And with a 10 plus, or actually, if it hit, you can give a +1 to your roll. And you had a 9, right? So that'll
Yep.
push you to a 10.
Yep.
Is Kel helping out with the research? What's that look like when Kel's helping out?
Let's see how it looks when he rolls.
I
Very different, right?
rolled terribly, so my help is not good.
I got an 8.
Okay, cool. So on a help out 7 and 9 grants a +1, but you also expose yourselves to trouble or danger. So yeah, well, that's fine. I'll just make a note. Let me put that over here on my shelf. And I'll make a note.
Very cool.
Cool. So you get a +1. You get one more question.
Okay. Okay. In the things, from this, how? Oh yeah. Where is it? How? Is there like a wait? No.
Kel's helping, so if you want to suggest
what can hurt it? What can hurt it?
Nice. So from the doctor's specific records, she found that they were very sensitive to sudden bright lights or extremely loud noise.
Okay.
It effectively stuns the creatures that are affected, as the brain worms, as she calls it. She quickly points out her term, not official, as the brain worms are stunned by oversensory stimulation. Or sensory overstimulation might be the better way to combine those words.
I turned to Spaz. Oh, who's the makes things? Do we have a make things person? Is it Spaz?
I think your expert's pretty good at.
Oh, okay. So Joanna, sorry. Joanna, ask you, like, is there a way to like modify, I don't know, one of our blasters to, instead of like shooting things, it just makes, the light effect very strong, or maybe like the coil just to take out the what is it, the thing that makes it silence the recoil, or not the recoil, the compressor, so it makes more noise. So like, instead of shooting it, it just makes you have like a very loud bang or something.
It's possible. I would need somewhere to work on it and some tools.
Explosions make loud bangs.
They also make a lot of destruction, death. We're trying to avoid.
There's a knock at the door.
I draw my blaster.
I'll get it, and I'll go and open the door.
Cool. You, when you answer the door, you see none other than Frog Nadra, the Gungan from before, is standing there. He has this little force pike. He kind of leans against it, and there are a few other Gungans who are behind him. He says, "You talk to doctor. Everything good now? Huh? Everything okay?"
Yeah. I just, I was really interested from what you were saying earlier. Can you tell me about your ancients and that temple you guys are working on?
I show you. You come?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you tell me as you show me?
Better to show.
I'm more of an auditory learner, but I'll go.
And then they're going to escort squads away from you guys unless...
No, they're coming with me, right? Right?
Yeah, I can go.
Yeah.
We all got to see this, right?
Yeah, no, like I'm following squaws with like my carbine. Like,
We look over. I think I look over at the doctor and ask, "You going to be okay here, Doc?"
Her eyes are very wide as she sees, like, probably better than you. And then she moves up to close the door so you guys step out onto the little land bridge. I'd like to call a quick bio break. I've drunk 2 of these, so it's smart for Rich to go ahead and call a bio break. It's 2 after. Let's take a 3-minute break. I'll see you guys at 5 after.
oh, that's so cute.
It's my puppy. He wanted to say hello. He was dying to say hello. So that's it. You can go now. Get out of here. No one wants you to go around here anymore. You're gone. Go away. Or don't. That's fine. There's your bed.
It's cute. How big of a dog will it end up?
It's about as big as he might get 10 pounds, maybe.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's Chihuahua, so he's a little guy. He's 4.4 pounds right now. And his life is, everything is bigger than me. He's a little terrified. He's only 3 months old. And he's good with people, but other dogs just does not want to deal with him because he thinks they can eat me. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But yeah, after this, we're going to be taking him to a little dog walkie thing, get more socialization with other dogs. So hopefully that'll work out. Cool. Which, yeah, we'll wait just a minute longer for Will. Checking in. Everybody good? Not too much body horror, not too much. It's been all right?
No, it's really cool. It's
Okay.
really cool.
Okay, good. All right, I'm going to go shut my door. Okay, cool. All right. So we cut back to you guys. We a little screen share with the thing. We have you guys being led by your friendly Nabooan. It's dark now, so there's just torchlight that lights the pathway towards the temple. You see that there are a number of new stones that have been placed in the temple. A lot of the old areas where steps were broken have been fixed, and it's very, very quiet here as each of you step inside and you start to head down a low grade. It's not steps as much as just dirt that slowly goes down until you enter a large chamber. And in this chamber, you see that there are lots of Gungans. They are working mechanically, and you see that the significant majority of them are gray and pallor. They do not have the jaundiced skin. Some of them are missing limbs. They look as if they are rather rotted, and they are working on the interior of this large chamber. And you see that they have rebuilt one of those kind of huge statues of the ancients, but it's been modified a little bit. It looks like a Geonosian, like a bug's head. The eyes are the same, but the mouth, the mandibles have been changed to look like a Geonosian. And yeah.
So I think Cal leans over to, is it Grook, our guard, who's leading us?
Yes, Grook, or Frug.
Frug. Yeah. And goes, that's a interesting looking ancient Gungan there.
The ancients never were Gungan. They never look Gungan. You think the humans, they change it. We fixing it back. Make the ancient look like ancients.
Like a Geonosian.
What's Geonosian?
Was it? Remember the Clone Wars?
Oh yeah, we have great hero. Become ambassador. You hear about him?
Yeah. Mr. Binks.
My grandpa. He know many stories of Jar Jar Binks.
Great man, I hear. Great man, hero of the Republic and the Empire that it became. Yeah. Now
I heard he was secretly a Sith Lord, but that's probably just a rumor.
Oh man, you can't believe everything you hear on the HoloNet. Yeah, but anyways, Geonosians, well, they're a group of fairly nasty guys who look a lot like that.
Oh,
from the planet Geonosia.
They're not nasty. Look upon the face of the ancients.
I mean, you remember like the robots, right? The droids. The big fight you had here back in the, this was like the first battle of the Clone Wars, really, right? If I recall my history correctly. And Yeah, the Geonosians were the ones who built the robots.
Oh, didn't know that, man.
Right.
So as Kel's having this conversation with Frog and a few of the guards, Johanna, you're the one who's the most suspicious as they squads right closely behind. They seem to be tightening the circle around you, these guards who are here. In fact, you see one of them like reaches in and pulls out like something from his pouch. And he's moving up behind Kel. What do you do?
I'm gonna kick that hand.
Oh, okay. You want to kick some shebs?
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So when you kick some shebs, get into a fight, kick some shebs, roll plus tough.
Yeah, some tough. So that's an 8.
Awesome. I like 8s. On a 7+, you and whatever you're fighting inflict harm on each other. The amount of harm is based on established dangers in the game. This guy has a brain worm in his hand. He's going to throw it at you. That's the harm you'll be taking. So what harm do you make? Do you do?
It was like probably. I was trying to kick the hand so that you drop the worm, but
oh, that's fair. You kick the hand to drop the worm. He was going to throw it, so the worm is out and it starts slithering along the ground. It's about that. There, Rich moves into the shot about this long, and it moves really, really fast.
And I have no interest in pretense at this point. So worm.
Frog's like, no, don't kill it.
As a reaction, can I use tech to take my wonderful grenade launcher and just like would shooting the statue with the grenade launcher like that would probably do it, right? That would probably be enough noise and enough light to just like So I will use tech. I will not trade harm because this is like it's yeah. I figured so. Yeah. So let's try that.
All right. Roll plus tech. Let's see how this goes.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. Oof, that's a 6. All right. No, I'm using a point of luck. I'm using luck here.
The red tape for your next adventure.
Red tape I will take over insanity any day.
Cool. On a 10+ technology works without issues. Choose your effect, and it's basically create a very large noise. When you do the obviously rotting Gungans to stop moving and kind of hunch over a little bit, while the jaundiced ones, they actually like reach up and try to cover their large ears. Frog does not seem affected by this very large, loud noise. Neither do many of his compatriots. There's about 5 of them here now. However, the brain worm that was wriggling on the ground, it kind of wriggles awkwardly. If you guys ever, this is gross, but like if you've ever seen a worm that tries to cross the sidewalk and it can't quite make it, that's what you see this worm kind of doing. It's like wiggling around, confused and unable to really tell direction. Squaws, you saw this little bit of duplicity from Frog's buddies, and this explosion happens. What do you do?
What was the duplicity?
Oh,
they were trying to sneak up.
Sneak up and shove a brain worm into Kel's mouth.
Yeah, I would say, since Johanna yelled worm, Squaz's first reaction is going to be to whip around and try and shoot the thing.
That's awesome. You succeed. Like it will kill it because it's wriggling around because you guys used what you needed. You blast it, and the thing it gets blasted. It is phased up, and you see just a little bit of like ichor on the muddy ground from what was the brain worm.
Waste way too many blaster shots on it.
Frost says, "Oh no, you should not have done that." And now he's gonna try to shock you guys with his little force pikey thing, and looks like all the other Gungan's guards are going to help him. So I'm going to check in with Kel. It looks like now that Frog is no longer friendly.
I think Kel, like, you know, criff under his breath, and then whips out his pistol, and will just attempt to like flick it to stun, I think, and attempt to shoot.
Awesome. Kick some shebs.
Kick some shebs.
Roll plus tough.
That is a 10.
Nice. Cool. So you do, and whatever you're fighting, inflict harm on each other. And on 10 plus, you get to choose an extra effect. Gain the advantage and take +1 forward, or get +1 forward to another hunter. Inflict terrible harm, suffer less harm, or you force them where you want them.
Are we like on a raised platform? Was that it? Like above the
Sure. Yeah, that sounds fun. Yeah, you guys are
Yeah.
on like a raised platform, and the dirt underneath is maybe just like a 15-foot drop.
Yeah, so I think I want to force him where I want them, which is like off the edge of this, basically. Like
Nice.
wait.
Cool. So he's not on his chocobo thing. So yeah, he falls off the edge. You stun him and he falls back. He did hit you with his little pike, which is going to give you 2 harm. That is AP because it's like an electrocution. It's not actually a piercing or a blaster kind of thing. So he shocks you pretty bad. Maybe like singes an eyebrow type deal as he hits you in the shoulder, and then he falls, lands in the mud. And then I'm going to check in with Johanna. We haven't seen you do anything after screaming out. So what are you doing?
I am just going to be opening fire with my blaster at the ones that are obviously rotted.
Cool. All right. That's cool. They can't attack back right now. So what is the harm that your blaster would do?
I think it's 3 harm or 2 harm. Let me just check. 2 harm, close.
2 harm? Cool. So you take out a few of them. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick up a clock, 6-tick clock of the rotting Gungans. And we're going to say that you knock off a couple ticks of those. All right, cool. So we'll just... Battle clock, I've stuck that on the roll for your party in case you're wondering what I'm clicking over on and talking about. So we've got a couple of ticks on the rotting Gungans who have been taken out right now. So Grinnick, you just fired your grenade launcher. It seems to have shocked these brainworms, although they are slowly starting to come to. A few of them have been shot up, say like 4 or 5 that Johanna shot and destroyed. So what are you doing, Grinnick?
I am going to get out my carbine, set it to stun, and fire wildly at the crowd of. Does that make sense?
So there are Gungans who are around you who are not impaired and are trying to like stun you guys and take you out. So that's your most immediate threat.
Oh, the immediate. Then in that case, I would. I'm just looking at my moves. Who's the who's the most in danger right now?
Most in danger. Yeah, I think Squaws, because one of these guys has a brainworm in his hand and he's about to throw it at Squaws. So do you want to protect someone?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna do leave no one behind, and I'm gonna pull Squaws out.
Nice. I love that move. Cool. So you go ahead to roll plus sharp to help him escape from that danger.
Good. And 6, that puts me at an 8, I think.
7 to 9, you can either get them out.
9. Sorry, 9.
Okay, cool. On a 7 to 9, you can either get them out or suffer no harm. You choose.
I will get them out.
Awesome. Cool. So let me direct your attention to the basic moves, as I have just unhidden custom moves. So you get to roll another move on top of your move as you shove Squaws out of the way. The worm lands on your shoulder and starts crawling towards your mouth. If the worm attempts to enter and infect you, roll plus tough. On a 7 to 9, you avoid infection but suffer harm. On a 10 plus, you avoid the brain worm for no additional damage. On a 6 or less, you are infected with a brain worm.
Okay. All right. So it's tough. I think I've got one tough, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. Let's do that. 2. Oh no. Do I take it? No. I think. Is it wrong to take more than 1 luck point in a game? Is that like
That's why you have them. Just be advised that once you've spent all of your luck, your doom is imminent.
I'm Sheb out of luck. Yeah, I will take the luck because we need to survive this.
Okay, awesome. So tell me, like this luck, you avoid the brain worm for no additional damage. It's spent luck. So what does this look like? Like if you want to say I've destroyed this brain worm, I'm totally cool with that because you spent. So what does it look like?
It's more like accidental. So I grab Spaz, the thing falls on me, and I'm running away, and like a branch catches the worm and flicks.
I love it.
It's more like I didn't realize I had the worm on me, and by the time that I did, like a branch and swept it off, and so like.
Nice. The word just like flicks off and squashes against a wall. That sounds fantastic. Squaws, you got picked up and carried by your Trandoshan ally as he saved you from potential infection, but also kind of carried you a little while like a little kid. I'm not sure how you feel about that.
It's not great, but not the first time. So
it's kind of a thing. Like you should build like some kind of backpack pouch, and then you just carry you around. You can give him advice.
Maybe there's a name for it or something, like I don't know. I'll come up with something.
Yeah, sounds good. Kel, things have just gone crazy here, and Frug is trying to. He's fallen to the ground now. He's like 15 feet below you. The other guards are now trying to attack you guys. You got hit and hurt pretty bad. So, Kel, what do you do?
So I don't know what our best approach is here because we need to find whoever's this. Well, what can I see of Johanna? Because I can see that Grinnick has just snatched up Squaz and is running away, right? Like getting to safety. But what about my ISB friend? Where is she? Because I think Kel's first instinct is to make sure that his team is okay. You know, before he.
Johanna's going to be covering people with blaster fire, basically. That's what you see her doing.
Nice. Are you guys hoping to get out of the temple? Is that what you want to do here? Seems like that's Grinnick's leading the way, but I'm curious, do you guys want to do that as well?
I mean, I don't think me and Johanna can take on everything by ourselves, so...
You can do it. I believe in you.
And my training officer just ran off, leaving the trainee behind. So...
All right. Let's have you act under pressure to get out of here. And if you want to get some help from Johanna as you guys both try to escape, you are welcome to.
I'm going to roll for help. That's a 5.
Awesome.
To make that a 10. Actually, I should wait until your roll.
All right, Kel.
So mine's an act under pressure, right?
Yep,
mine's
so you're rolling.
6. Mine's only a 6. But I was thinking, right, if it was the other way around and if Kel was helping Johanna, then I have a move which would let me do it as a +10, no matter what, without a roll.
Oh, yeah. If that totally makes sense. Let's have you
Yeah.
do that. It looks like somebody removed your picture with a Y.
Oh,
No
it's
worries.
probably
Yeah.
me. There we go.
Yay! Awesome. So let's flip it then. If Johanna, because it looked like you wanted to help anyway, I just kind of flipped the script.
Yeah.
But let's go with that. Good. So you're helping someone. You roll plus cool, and so we'll say that Johanna, your roll, which was a 5, was your attempt to help, and your cool is a 0, so that's a 5, and a 10 plus on a help roll is.
Just a +1, so it literally makes no difference, even though we flip them around.
But it makes me feel better.
Yes,
that you guys both fail. Awesome. Good. This is great. So, yeah. Johanna, you feel something slithering across your neck and quickly heading into your nose, like right up your right nostril. As it slithers in, you can feel it kind of moving past your eye. You need to roll to see if you are going to be infected. Oh, but don't forget, you get to mark XP.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so the worm is going to attempt to enter and infect you. Roll plus tough.
Okay, so I get an advance. And then I roll to see if I... Okay, so that's 9 plus... What's it with?
Tough. Plus
Tough.
1 is a 10 for
Right,
you. So
10, yeah.
you avoid the brainworm for no additional damage. What does it look like? Do you yank that thing back out? Fling it behind, and then all 4 of you make your way back outside to the forest canopy late at night. Just the sound of the torches, and you hear the Gungans
bleeding.
running. Yeah, bleeding is definitely happening. You guys look a little worse for wear, especially Johanna and Kel, because he took some damage as well. Let's go ahead and give you 1 harm for that, Johanna, 1 harm AP. I mean, it feels like yanking a giant worm out of your nose would hurt for at least 1 harm. So let's do that thing. And all 4 of you are standing outside of the temple, and you hear that there are Gungans headed towards you. What do you do?
I want to grab Johanna's vibro sword.
Not the dark saber,
Not
but
the dark
vibro.
saber.
So you have like 2 of them like stuck over your back like Johanna? Or is it...
Yeah, like, yeah.
I love that. She like walks up to the doctor. We're here as part of a medical attaché. Like, wow, how do you operate? No, sorry. So you grab that vibro sword. You've got it.
Yeah, so I grab the vibro sword and turn it, I think it would be down so that it makes more noise, and press it against the armor so that it starts like squealing really loudly.
Oh, that's awesome. Use tech.
Six, 7.
All right, you get a
Yeah.
glitch.
A glitch.
The effect is weakened, short duration. You take 1 harm, ignore armor. The tech draws immediate unwelcome attention or has a problematic side effect.
I'm gonna say, because I'm pressing my hand against the vibro sword, that I'm gonna take the harm.
That totally makes sense to me. Yeah, I buy it. So all of a sudden this low hum starts and there's this squelching sound, and you can hear deep within the bowels of the temple as they start, some of the jaundiced or the wasting disease affected Gungans start to screech in pain. But they are not going to chase you. Like, they want to retreat further into the temple and hide away from the terrible noise. Unfortunately, there are 3 Gungans who are bothered by the noise, but still coming out to try to infect or kill you. Can't really infect you because the worms are just not going to be able to do their job. They're too disoriented. So they're probably just going to try to kill you because you're a threat. So, yeah, Grinnick, you see squaws do this. Kel and Johanna are by your side, and there are 3 Gungans with their little shocky pike things that have come out of the temple. And one of them says, "Guys, you go. We're going to have to kill you."
I take out my carbine. And I'm like, not today.
Nice. Kick some shebs. Not today.
Not
Gungan.
today.
Can't stop the reunion.
Oh, massive fail.
That is a snake eyes. Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, so the good news is you get an XP. The second good news is that because Squaws has your back here, you're not going to get brainworm infected. Those are both great newses. Good newsies is 2 of the Gungans, knowing you are the biggest threat, jam their pikes into your gut. You're going to take a total. Oh,
Can Kel leap forward to protect?
yes, you can.
Yeah.
So they're going to leap forward to try to stab you in the gut. You know it was 4 harm coming your way, which is very bad for you. But Kel is jumping in the way. So I think you need to protect someone.
Yeah, and I rolled snake eyes on that as well. But
Oh.
I am going to spend a look.
Oh man! That's gorgeous. Cool. So let's quickly jump over here for trainee because I am really curious. What's your luck move? Can you read me? It's on line 17.
When you spend a look, you will find something weird and maybe even useful.
Nice. Find something weird and I had not even considered what could be weird and useful. Does anyone have weird and possibly useful ideas?
I do, and it's something that these guards have got on them that they, however, they interact with the brainworms without being infected themselves, right? Like maybe they have something that's useful for that.
I love it. Yeah, it's
Uh,
like it's the thing from the one pouch they reached into. Like they have pouches that's almost like canisters that they can put the brainworms into, as well as these like little mitts that that they use to grip onto them. So yeah, you find that. So you succeed with your 12. The pikes hit each other, and you shoved Grinnick out of the way. We'll say that in the ensuing struggle, because of the luck, that's when one of them falls down and you find that he has a canister. And so we'll just say there are only 2 left because you guys are using luck like crazy. You need to be really successful because your doom is imminent. And so I'm going to check in with Johanna because Squaws is still giving you guys a little bit of cover. There are 2 of these Gungans that are trying to take you out. One of them is facing you right now.
All blasters have stun settings, right?
I will say the blaster carbines. I've never seen a blaster. No, wait. I again have had this conversation before because stormtroopers turn their blaster carbines to stunning. So yes, unless you've got basically the BL-46 or whatever that Han has, the heavy blaster that has no stun setting, but a regular blaster it does 2 harm, or a blaster carbine it does 3. Both will have stun settings.
Yeah, I think I said my blaster was like one of the Ruger type blasters.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I've switched it to stun setting, and I'm gonna just shoot the guy that's in front of me.
Sweet, kick some shebs. I love these rolls, friends.
I'm gonna spend the luck on that.
So much luck. Sweet. So you spend luck. You're not harmed. You fire, and he falls down to the ground. And I think that last Gungan, realizing he's facing 4 totally bad-sheb bounty hunters, is going to take off running. He's not crazy. What do you do?
We need to find the source of this.
That guy should know, wouldn't he?
Let's go ask him then.
Or any of these guys on the ground?
Where is Frug?
Frug's inside. He got thrown down to the ground by Kel and fell. And
so back in the room full of zombies then?
Yes, he's in the zombie room.
I'm sure he's fine.
He's probably infected.
Are any of these people in ability to talk, or is it literally we need to capture this guy, right? That's,
no. The other guards, like there were 5 of them. None of them appeared to be infected. They just seemed to be totally bought into the whole idea of the reunion. So one of them, as far as you can tell, he does not appear to be infected by a worm.
Or
Oh,
dead.
by the way, I'm grabbing any canisters that any of them had and just blastering them on the non-stun setting because no.
Okay, sure, no problem. At this point, it does not appear, as long as Squaz is doing his little sound effect, none of the brainworms are coming out at you guys right now.
I'd like to slap one of the guards that are sort of around us and demand, like, who speaks to the ancients? Like, who's the one who brought these?
Oh, nice. I think you were trying to manipulate this Gungan to tell you the truth.
Yes.
Sweet. Roll plus charm. You're pretty good at this.
That is a 10.
Nice. Look at you. You go from snake eyes to a 10. We're proud of you again. Before you were terrible.
But I was lucky, so it was fine.
That's true. You were bad and then luck saved you. He looks at you and you can see there's like this fervor in his eyes. He says, Karna the Great bring all the brainworm. They help us. They unlock us and bring the reunion. Don't understand. Take this planet back.
Yeah, and she's going to take it from you. Where is she?
He turns and he looks past you and hear the huge screeching noise the Squaz is making. You hear the screaming of the brainworm infected, and he points in there. The Great Queen in there.
So is he saying back in the zombie room?
Yeah, past the zombie room.
Past the zombie room, so through the zombie room.
Yes.
Okay.
She lay her egg there. All her eggs are in there.
She lays the... You saying that this Genosian lays eggs and these worms come out? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Roll for insanity.
Yeah. Now,
I love watching Rob squirm. It's good.
I think the Gungan education system definitely needs some new funding on biology, because that is not normal.
Says, it's hard, but the humans, the Nabooans, they call themselves, they've done so much to us. This gives us the power we need. We take our world back. No more of them.
They're not giving you any power. They're using this to destroy you.
No, you don't understand. She's one of the ancients. She came back
I
to
understand
us.
perfectly. I know how they work.
This holy. You don't understand. We lose so much now. Now we can have it back. You don't understand.
I think I'll just like hesitates for a second, then shoots him in the face, shoots him at point blank with a stun.
Nice.
Yeah.
He's done. Kels. It's been a pretty good training mission for Kel, I think.
Yeah, well, he can sense there's about to be a vacancy in House Benelex, right?
Really?
Have you seen how much luck you spent?
Right.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, through there again? I mean,
Yeah.
what do you
I look at you and I'm like, no, we're going straight in, and I just I turn on and I run.
I mean, let Squaz go first.
Actually, no. What are we doing? No, we're gonna make a plan. No. Roll to make a plan.
Yes. I love this move. I stole it from the zombie world, Will. I have no compunction, no shame whatsoever, because it's great. So down on row 159, make a plan. Guess what? I think that this is not being careful. It's not talking or persuading. It's either taking violent, dangerous, or destructive action. That's more likely. Or pushing through, being tough, strong, and implacable, I think.
I will say pushing through being tough, strong, and implacable, because it's not just about being tough, but worms trying to get into your
All right.
everything. Yeah.
I agree. It sounds like you proposed the plan, and we will roll plus cool, friend. Good luck.
Thank you. That's a 6 plus 3 is a 9.
Nice. Anyone to help out? Anyone want to help out with making the plan and carrying it out?
Yeah.
Cool. Only one of you can add to it, but if multiple people want to roll to help out, I will take all the failures that you want to hand to me. That's fine.
Okay. Who wants to help out then?
I've got a 0 in cool. Someone who's got something more than a 0 in cool.
Yeah, okay, squaws.
Good job, Jawa, buddy. You're riding on his shoulders when you push through. What do you say, John? You're muted.
You're muted.
I got an 11.
Wow. That's amazing. I love it. Oh, we actually didn't look at the pluses, but it's fine. It's fine. You're good. On a hit, you arrive in the middle of your plane in decent shape. 7 to 9, there's this, the hitch or whatever. So you guys push your way back in. Blasters firing. We see a cool action sequence. I just want to see like a glimpse of a moment of each of you doing something to take out some of these, either the wasted or the rotting controlled. So I'll start off with Kells. With one cool shot that we see from you from our little attack montage. You guys are getting through this. I just want to see like a couple of like a glamour shot of you being awesome.
I think with Cal, he fires a couple of stun bolts into one of the rotted that's coming at him. It doesn't have any effect, and so he switches it over to a normal blaster bolt, and then takes a second to aim, and then just blows right through the back of one of them. And like,
oh, that's awesome!
Yeah.
Oh, that's so perfect too. That's like legit. I love it. Johanna, what's the moment we see with Johanna looking amazing?
So we see like Johanna basically like sort of doing the Star Wars equivalent of fanning the hammer. Like maybe she's sort of over cranked the blaster, so she's just firing like rapid fire and doing headshots to all the wasted.
Nice. I love it. And then Griddick, what's a moment when you kind of push through and bring them to the next chamber where the queen is found?
So basically, there's a shot where I just aim the grenade launcher at the place at the door that's got the 2 columns, and I'm aiming in such a way so that when the explosion happens, at least it like deafens or it stuns anybody who's close to the door, so it explodes and everybody's on the ground and we can just like run through or something.
Awesome. And then Squaws, there's like something that was going to come up on Grinnick or some eventuality or consequence that was coming his way, and you save his bacon. What does that look like?
I'm sticking beside Grinnick because we're getting through it, and one of them comes up, and just as it's getting close, Squaws has to let go of the sword, or let go of holding the metal to the sword for just a quick minute, and he runs it through one of the dead guys.
Nice.
Ah!
Cool. So we will I'm going to quickly share a picture with you guys. So all of you come into this very dank, musty, kind of moldy section of the temple. It's obvious that this part of the temple has been here a very, very long time. And in here you see that there are these like eggs about this big. You can almost see through them when you shine your lights. You can see little worms are kind of wriggling around them, very small ones that are growing. And you see there are a large number of these things, like dozens of them. And then behind them, with this like huge sack attached to her, is the queen. I've got a cool picture to share with you. Let me do that thing. And we'll make it bigger so she's more terrifying. She's got 6 legs, right? Like it is attached to her thing, and she's got these crazy headdress type deal. She stands, all told, is like, and I only know this because of Wikipedia. Thank you, Wikipedia. Like 8.3 meters, which for you, John, is really, really freaking long and tall. The body is more like 2 meters, but all told with the like, sack that comes off, or the thing that's attached to her underside, she's a total of 8.3 meters. You can see that there are a lot of old wounds, unhealed, or healed but scarred heavily wounds on her. One of her eyes is slightly shut. She seems very old, because if this is Karna the Great, she has been around since the Clone Wars, so she's somewhere in the 70 to 80, which is very, very old for a Geonosian. They don't age like, they age like humans, effectively. And she looks at all of you right now with the noise, the squads, and the explosion. The eggs are just warbling a little bit. She does not have any Gungans in here to protect her. And she says, "What are you doing in my royal chamber?"
Kel, do you have something
I think
spicy to say?
I think it's just another criff at the sight of this horrible thing. And then I was going to say that Kel was going to... what's the move called again? It's a great word. Kel's going to think, what could go wrong, and charge into immediate danger without hedging his bet.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that's perfect.
Just like I trained him.
Yep. Yeah. Well, he's been learning on the job, and that's what you've been doing so far.
You hold 2. That is fantastic. This is a great choice. That's some really cool things you can do with your hold. I love it. So who wants to make the first attack upon the queen? Let me just tell you, she is extremely strong. And if she gets her hands on you, you will remember it for a while.
So, like, narratively speaking, I would say that Kel has basically, like, ran straight into the chamber and is blasting away, right? But, like, I think that I can use my hold to, like... So I'll use my hold to inflict +1 harm if I roll to do kicks or shebs, but like I've got other moves that are triggered off helping other people. It's like if someone has like an act under pressure roll, then I can do that and take +2, or I can reduce harm that you suffer if she does get a hold of you. And like, yeah, so I'm just running around basically, like firing my gun off wildly, like at the moment.
So as he does this, I try to aim the grenade launcher so it ricochets off the back wall to explode in her back. So like most of the explosion isn't faced at the front, but the back, so clearing the way for Kel.
Sweet. Act under pressure, then.
Sounds good, man.
Pull that off. That's perfect. Roll plus cool. You are very cool. Wow, you are made for this. It's a 6 that you've rolled, +2 from cool is an 8. If this is perfect, like if you got some help perhaps from a hold.
But it's actually take +2 forward on an act. If I can give that to someone, I would happily spend my hold. Yeah, then sure. That's the hold, is my 1 hold spent on giving +2 forward to grenade.
Sweet. So the canister pops and comes down behind her, explodes, and she's hurt bad. That's 4 harm. Oh, Blaze, are you okay? You seem frozen. We'll pause for a sec. Yep, we lost him. All right. It's just 1 shot, guys. That's it. Go. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin us. So fires, explosion happens. She screams in pain, and all the eggs start to open up. And there are many worms that start slithering out, but they're also wriggling. But soon they will be a-okay, friends. Johanna.
I am going to I'm going to draw. I've got my pistol out. Obviously, I'm going to just sort of be aiming with it, and just like I'm going to use my what's the name
Precise
of the
strike?
move? Precise strike.
Perfect.
Okay. So it's when you inflict harm on an enemy, you can aim for a weak spot. Roll plus.
Nice. We'll say the weak spot is her eye. It's a window to the soul, you know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let me just roll. So that's
that is a 10. It's your 10. Your tough's a 1. You just rolled a 9, right?
Yep.
All right. On a 10, you get to do your harm. You get to do an extra effect. And what weapon were you using?
You know what? Since I got it this turn, since I got it this session, I'm just gonna go right up to her with the Darksaber and go.
This is going to be the killing blow because a carking Darksaber with +2 harm from precise strike. This is what it's going to take her out. So tell us, what does it look like?
So I think Johanna just marches right up to the queen while she's still screaming and in pain, and points the Darksaber without it ignited in her face. It says, "Yeah, screw this capture policy."
Yes.
And then it just sort of warble, the way it warbles when it ignites.
Yes, I love the Darksaber look.
And it's just sort of slowly just going in.
Oh man, yeah, we hear the inhuman scream. That is the last. Oh, hold on. We'll pause for a second. Welcome back, Grenick. Yay, you're the next back. I'm so happy.
That was weird. That was really weird.
Okay, so let me restate what you missed. So you fired tink tink, perfect bank shot, explosion happens, the eggs all open up and worms start coming out, but they're wriggling, slightly stunned. That's when Johanna leaps forth, and Johanna has a move called Precise Strike. And what was it? It said to hell with the capture policy. And she takes that Darksaber that she had fixed up earlier, sticks it right up to the weak spot, which is the Geonosian Queen's eye, and then ignites it. And it like zips forward and slowly slices into her eye, into the Geonosian Queen's brain, vibrating the whole time. She screams an inhuman scream, and all of the worms start to wriggle in pain. And then it slices half of her face off, and she slumps over, and she's 8 meters of giant bug slug butt stuff that just slumps over and oozes ichor, and all of the worms become inert. And this Geonosian queen, Corinna the Great, is dead. Remember that thing where you use luck and there's going to be red tape? Your live capture policy has just been violated. Just so you know, Grenick. Oh, by the way, yeah, Kel, as a trainee, you let it happen. Both you guys are in trouble. You're going to get written up.
Well, we saved the Gungans, so
sweet.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a moment. The music swells as this hunt is over, and also our series is over. So because of where we're at on time, I'd love to just get a couple quick epilogues, or not a couple, but 4 of them exactly, from each of you, as we see, what's your post-credit sequence that either sets up future adventures or shows like a tag or a callback to something else where we get to put your character to bed, as it were. Although I will tell you, I'm going to be running Bounty of the Week in 2020 for sure. This has been super fun. Cool. So, Kel, trainee, you get to go first with the first of our epilogues. What do we see Kel doing?
I think we see Cal basically strapping up and getting ready to go into another mission right alongside Grinnick.
Aw. You're assuming that Grinnick's not retiring. I love it. Grinnick, what is he with you?
There's a scene where I'm in my boss's office, and or like management. Actually, it's a commission. They actually pulled a commission. There was an
Snap.
investigation, and so it's the result of it that I've been demoted for my actions, but that my contract states that I still have 10 years of service. So that's life.
Sweet. What about Squaws? What do we see for Squaws?
Let's see. For Squaws, I think it's gonna end up with in a like a prison of whatever sort they have. I'm not even I guess the Star Wars, prison cell, and he walks up and there's Kalaba sitting in there. I know we didn't get a chance to face off again, so how about some cards?
The Twillig is like sweet. And then what about Johanna? What do we see as an epilogue for Johanna?
I think we see Johanna just in front of like a recording sort of device, like one of those hollow recorders.
Mm-hmm.
And just sort of taking a nervous breath and saying, and then activating the hollow recorder and saying, Joanna, it's been a while. And is just going to record a message to her sister.
Nice. Her sister is a member of the rebellion, I assume. That is awesome. I like it. So that will bring the official game part of the game to an end. I mean, we could do the at the end of the session move where you guys get you learned you can include the current hunt, yes, save someone from certain death, yes, each other, something new and important about the universe. I would hope so. If you're paying attention, new and important about one of the hunters. Did we learn something new and important about one of the hunters?
Yeah, we learned plenty about Kel today.
It's true. That's an easy one. All right, so each of you guys get 2 XP because you answered 3 or 4. You answered 4 questions with a yes. So I know it's like right up to time if anyone needs to go, but I always like to do a little bit of post-game feedback. So if you can stick around, that's fantastic. We'll do an abbreviated. Need to go, John?
Yeah, I need to go. I got another game. But thank you.
All right.
It's been great. All you guys are great to play with. Yeah, and that would be the majority of my feedback anyway. So there you go.
Thanks, John. Feel better, buddy. Cool. So for those who can stick, roses and thorns is what we'll use. We'll start with thorns so we can end with roses. Thorns are any critical feedback, points of confusion, parts where, especially you guys have been playing for a bit, are there any parts where it feels like we need a move or anything that could be tweaked? Because I definitely want to run Bounty of the Week again. I felt like the last 2 sessions where we actually did a legit hunt and a little less twists and turns, it felt better to me, but I definitely want your feedback. And then, of course, Will, with you as being the newbie stepping in, any thoughts you had along those lines? Who'd like to go first with thorns? All right, please.
We need something like an insanity move or something like that to increase that fear, because it's like there are still kind of horror elements, even if it's just Bounty of the Week. Like you feel that because like even just between the Nexu last week, which is intimidating because it's a Nexu, and then the Worms this week, I feel there's something that could be done to like either heighten the tension or like increase the fear factors into it. Maybe it's a cool thing. I don't know.
I like that. I like that, like a coolness under fire rating. I think that is a really interesting idea. Yeah, I'll think about that. If it's at a different track, or is it just a thing where you kind of get psi harm or something along those lines? I agree. It could be a cool thing to just inflict on people. Yeah, that's not a bad idea either. Like a -1 hold, like a hold that I can just throw on people. When you're terrified, the keeper can do X or Y options at any point. Just choose the options. That's cool. I like that. Cool. Rob, what about you?
So I feel like just in general, like I like Monster of the Week, but the relationship, sentences for connecting the characters are like yeah they're very focused on people being related to each other or stuff like that, and
It's really weird in Star Wars. We are all different species. Yeah, I agree. I've tried to update that for one, and before I put this back out again, I'm going to completely revise all the histories, because I think that is definitely a flaw of just mapping it over. It doesn't go one for one at all. Anything else, Rob?
Yeah, so that was the only thing that I could think of.
Good feedback. Thank you for reminding me of that one. Will, what about you? Thorns?
No, I have no thorns at all. I just I think there's definitely there should be some scope for the psychic character, but I'm not sure how you do the spooky or whatever. The force sensitive character would be great.
Yeah, I agree. And that's why I limited the selection of playbooks. I wanted to kind of see if it worked, and then I want to expand because I want more of those playbooks. There's so many awesome playbooks in Monster of the Week. I want to expand it, and that's one that I think would be fun. The Spooky's a really cool character, and I think a spooky force related person could super work. I just wanted to test the balance of a nice basic mundane, but yes, that is definitely next version. So because you had to go last for Thorns, we let you go first for Roses. Roses are attaboys or at feedback of positivity for your fellow players, or any particular moments that you thought was a highlight for you.
I mean, I'll be honest. I just this was a really cool way of playing Star Wars. I really enjoy it. Bounty of the Week is a great idea for running around in Star Wars and not doing just Edge of the Empire. Having quite a focused idea. And I used to be a massive Star Wars nerd, so this is great, basically.
Awesome. Oh, I'm really happy to hear that, because I try my best to make this as welcoming and open to people who've just maybe seen the original trilogy. If you haven't seen any Star Wars, why are you here? But I want to make it welcoming to people at least just seen the original trilogy, and I'm glad to hear that the Star Wars nerds dig it as well. When it was kind of revealed with the Geonosian and Rob's reaction, I was like, yes, he knows what I've done. He knows. It is great. It was so good. Rob, what about you? What roses did you have?
So Rosie's for Kel's naivety, well, why are we having to stop somebody from healing people? That can't be bad, right? Turns out it was, but even if it wasn't, there were reasons why we might have been asked to do that. And yeah, it's just nice to have the one person in the group that's not completely jaded. In contrast, Grinnick actually losing his cool a little bit was interesting to see. So I enjoyed that. And Rich, as much as I was squirming, I enjoyed you bringing that Clone Wars element into the game. That was it. It just gives you it's that. It's enjoyable to spot something like that coming up. So.
Awesome. I'm very happy to hear that, Rob, because I was like, how cool do I want to play this? And I'm like, no, I have to respect my prep and I have to respect the moves, and they should know this. I'm not gonna just hide it behind the screen. So that was fun. It was fun on a dual level of people who maybe not know what I was referencing, and other people were like, "Oh shit." Blaze, what roses did you have?
So I'm going to start with you, Rich. Again, I love playing with you, and it's a lot of fun. But I really like the fact that it went from a dark story to what I thought was a reference in North American history, where you're like colonizer versus colonist, which isn't pretty. But then it twists on something even more disgusting, where you have you're talking about very Cthulhu or mythos elements that just are tacked on top of it. And so I thought that was a bit of a good red herring in a sense, or to a certain degree, or maybe a pull or a turn to that. So I love the thematics of the story. Rob, this was really cool. You're calm and noticeably always the framing questions that are very wonderful. Will, that was cool. Rarely do I have someone who sees me as that kind of a, how can I say, reference character is rare, and it's been a lot of fun.
You mean a role model?
A role model. Thank
Yeah.
you. I don't see that a lot. Last thing I wanted to say is this is the first time I actually play with Monsters of the Week. I've run Monsters of the Week, but I've never played in it. So it's
Wow.
It was nice to actually be on the other side of the mantle for this one. And and I'd play with any of you anytime. Yeah.
Awesome. I will give you the last closing thoughts. Thank you guys so much for giving open, honest feedback, being game to trying this Reese Cup game of I'll take this chocolate and this peanut butter and mix it together, and I really enjoyed the results. Rob, I loved your expert as ex-spy. I really loved the way I don't know if you guys liked the movie Taken. I liked the movie Taken a lot, and I had a very Johanna as from movie Taken. I do not like when people threaten that was badass. And Blaze Grinnick is was consistently cool, and I love that you're aware the House Benelex is this is what we do. Are you sure you want me here? That was so on point, and a big. I know that John was a little under the weather, but Squaz, every moment with Squaz when he jumped in with some of his cool crooked things, and the idea for using the vibro sword to create a low sound was super fun. I love the way that you guys were engaging the used technology role. It kind of felt like it made sense. And I felt like in previous sessions, it was harder for us to engage that move. So I really appreciate you guys doing that. Well, top notch, man. You got to make more Star Wars Saturdays games now that you've already I know what I'm missing when you're not here. So thank you so much for playing. I loved your trainee. He was on point. Kel, from the moment, he was such a good counterpoint to how grimy and gritty these bastards are. So I loved having him there, and I love the turn, watching him turn. We got to see an arc of the trainee here, and that's just masterful playing on your side. So bravo, kudos to you. This was super fun. Thank you guys so much, and I'll let you go. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast here.